welcome back, everybody, to Happy Hour FM, the happiest hour in Groningen. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Fantastic. Another happy hour. We skipped last week, unfortunately, because the building was locked.
Oh, yeah, that was for Easter Monday, right?
Due to Easter Monday. Well, I hope you had a nice Easter, my friend.
It was really unfortunate, but...
It was really unfortunate. We had a guest planned who we will have coming up next month. She was rescheduled, thankfully.
Yeah, until then, we have a few others lined up, so... Keep an eye out on the social media pages.
Yeah, socials, please follow us on...
Which are now active.
Yeah. We got Instagram, we got Facebook for anyone over 40. Or Chris.
Young people have touch.
I know Ben's is almost 40. He's 30.
Actually, Bulgarians use Facebook a lot, so...
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I don't know, because we're just slow.
Well, check us out on Happy Hour FM on our Instagram or on Facebook, same thing, Happy Hour FM. And Chris, what do we have planned for today?
For today, first of all,
that's good sound.
I will, before I get to today, I just wanted to mention the, we posted about this on Instagram already, but we've got a record player in the studio. Woo-hoo.
Oh, yeah.
So in the future, guests can bring records on the show. And if any of you have any really cool, obscure records at home that you would like to hear on the air, get in touch with us on Instagram.
Yeah, I guess you should come by with the record then if you want to hear it. Yeah.
No, it's just like,
just slide it under the door.
You can write us about pretty much everything. Like, we really want to be open about that. Like,
absolutely.
We want to, communicate with listeners. Yeah. So, with that out of the way,
yes.
For today, we have a very cool guest, and I've really been looking forward to this interview.
Oh, yeah.
For listeners who have tuned in to previous shows, might have noticed that I'm a bit of a music nerd, especially when it comes to heavier styles of music. Today, we have Erik of Black Horizons Underground Productions. Is that correct?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So Erik is a vital part of the metal concert scene in Groningen and the north of the Netherlands in general. Black Horizons organizes metal shows in Groningen, in Drachten, and in Leeuwarden. And so today we're going to talk about the local underground. What goes into booking bands, organizing shows, and we're going to talk about an upcoming show on the 12th of April, so that's this Friday, at Café de Walrus, featuring 3 bands, Heavy Sentence, an Aggressive Perfector from the UK, and local thrash metal maniacs, Blade Crusher.
Oh, yeah.
Is that right?
Fucking right.
Cool.
Erik, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Well, thank you. Ooh. Yeah, I'm all right. Not too bad.
Yeah, good. You're 100%, yeah?
About 75 at the
About 75. Yeah, I was just thinking with the coughing, it's for any listeners at home, Erik is feeling a bit down, a bit sick, I guess is the term. No, you're feeling good. I don't know why I bring it up. Erik, welcome to the show. You've done some interviews before?
I've done like one interview before, actually.
That's enough. That's a good portfolio.
Yeah.
Yeah, great.
Let's start somewhere, no?
Yeah. So, can you tell us? Yeah, please.
You're excited for the upcoming show?
I am actually. Yeah. It's pretty cool actually because I realised that we've never actually done a traditional heavy metal show before, and it's about time in 2 years.
So the style of these 3 bands, Heavy Sentence, Aggressive Perfector, and Blade Crusher, it's more on the traditional side of metal.
Well, I suppose Blade Crusher is more a thrash metal act along the lines of High Command, Power Trip, Slayer.
And Slayer's getting back together, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm aware of that. I already sort of predicted it 5 years ago, but
nice.
So yeah,
Heavy
Sentence and Aggressive Perfector are more along the sort of traditional speedy heavy metal, Motorhead, Midnight sort of lines.
Awesome.
Yeah. So we got a show coming up, but if you could step back, can you tell us a little bit about what you do in general here?
Well, I drove here.
Yeah. No, so yeah, okay. So let's take a step back. You want to just tell us what is Black Horizons actually? Like, it's a concert promoter, but what is that? What goes into it?
A whole lot of love and dedication. No. So basically, I sort of started doing like local gigs because a friend and colleague of mine at the time, Dirk, he used to do a lot of stuff like that back in the day, and he was like, Erik, if you want to learn how to organise a concert, this is the way. So I thought, you know what, let's just do it then. So started booking some local stuff, things that didn't have to drive very far to get to Groningen,
Yeah.
Sort of easy start, and gradually started doing a lot of like more international underground acts, I suppose.
In the early days, how did it work? You just called up friends of yours that you knew played in bands and asked them, do you want to play here? Or?
Send out emails to bands that I knew, like, oh yeah, I know a guy that knows you and stuff like that. So sort of started building something with local acts, and then gradually just sort of started doing whatever the hell I wanted.
Very nice, yeah.
And where were the early concerts held at?
I think the first 5 or 6 or something were at Café de Walrus.
Yeah, that's just the best place for something like that. Or?
Well, it was the first place.
Okay. And it just stuck.
I like it. It's in Groningen as well. You've got a big city around you. There's a lot of people that live there, and we've never had a dramatically bad turnout there. So.
Right. You're not from Groningen yourself, right?
No, I was born in a small village called... No, I wasn't actually. I was born in Drachten, and I live in a small village called Opeinde, which is just outside of Drachten.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. And so you book shows in Groningen, Drachten, and Leeuwarden.
That's correct, yeah.
So how did you... What are the venues at those places, at Drachten, Leeuwarden?
In Drachten, it would be Iduna, which is... I already sort of, did volunteering and started there with an internship when I was like 18, and started booking gigs there as well. And so that's one. And then in Leeuwarden, there's Mukkers, which is basically Walrus, but slightly smaller and less logically set up. As in, there's a mosh pit going on, and someone will open the toilet door and it'll just like
go straight in.
Boom. And we've got one planned at the No Swan Cafe actually as well, which is also in Leeuwarden.
Nice. And the bands that you book,
there it is.
Beg your pardon.
The bands that you book now, you said there's a lot of international stuff also. But would you say that there's also a good local scene of bands, or you find yourself having to reach out to bands from far away to get good shows going?
Well, I do think there's a good local scene, as a matter of fact. The only thing is, when you keep doing local bands as often as we do, you're gonna have had all of them in not too long,
Yeah.
So we try to do international sort of packages with local supports, so that there's a nice little balance. So there's something interesting that people might not have seen before, and something that are like, that's cool, they're my mates from, so yeah.
Nice. So, well, actually, any notable names of the local scene?
Well, yeah, I'd say a lot, but in metal specifically, or
Yeah, I guess metal.
anything? Well, yeah, so there's my best mates, of course, in Chester and Deadspeak, and there's Blade Crusher, who've got coming up in on Friday. There's too many names to sort of.
Yeah, that's
start.
local. How local are we talking? Like Groningen, North Netherlands.
Yeah. What else have we got? We've got a good hardcore scene in Leeuwarden as well, with
nice.
Swimmer Drown is from here to fame, but that's not too far away. A lot of those bands. Onaras is a new black metal band as well that we had with a Frisk gig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do people? This might sound like a funny question, but how do people get together to start bands nowadays? Like, is like what I'm getting at is, paint me a picture of the scene. Like, are there certain places, certain venues where people who are into this kind of music congregate, and like it's more of a face-to-face kind of interaction, and kids jamming in their parents' garage or something, or is it much more sort of people find each other online and depending on musical preferences? And
Well, as someone who's not in a band, I wouldn't dare to tell you, but
Right.
I do know that Chester, for example, they sort of formed because they half part of them went to school together and knew each other from super long ago. And there's a few bands like that actually, and in Frisia, with the hardcore scene especially, there's a lot of bands that have, let's say, all right, so Blade Crusher, for example, their singer used to be in Chelsea Smile, whose guitarist was in 13 Steps, whose
there you go.
other member was in this other band,
Right.
etc.,
Yeah.
and that goes on forever, really.
Yeah.
But where it started, I don't know really. A lot of them are older than me as well. So
Okay. Yeah, that's another thing. What's the average age profile? Or like I mean,
of bands or people attending?
yes,
both. Both. Interesting.
Is there a lot of kids into this kind of stuff, or
There is actually.
Yeah.
I love seeing that
Nice.
because we, I think, especially from last year summer onwards, I think there have been a lot of, let's say, the next generation from me and my mates, which sounds a bit weird to say when you're 23, but kids that are like 17, 18 coming to underground metal gigs that
Awesome.
we put on. I'm quite stoked on that.
Lovely.
that's awesome. Is there any? Because we're talking about metal bands right now in the metal scene. I know in Groningen there's also a pretty strong punk rock scene.
There's a great punk scene in
There's
there.
a great punk scene here. Are those pretty well connected, or are they like distinct things? There's the metal guys and there's the punk guys. Are they distinct? Yeah, you can.
I think somewhat in between, maybe. Because, you've got the punk shows and you've got the metal shows, and they usually happen at different places. And it's not that you're going to see the exact same audience at both gigs, but there is overlap and visibly as well. So I do kind of like that, where it's not a complete separate island, if you will.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, because I've noticed definitely at punk shows there's a lot of young kids there.
Yeah. More so than our gigs, actually.
Yeah. So.
I have a bit of a
You want to jump in?
Yeah, a bit of a question just for myself. How important do you think extended range instruments are in sort of the modern scene, like five string basses or 7 or 8 string guitars in the modern metal scene?
I can live without them, really.
You can live without them?
Yeah.
What's that?
Sometimes they add something to when you want to sound
Sure.
modern, I suppose. But a lot of the things I like sort of are inspired by things that already existed in the 90s.
No extended range guitars, yeah.
So, yeah.
Hardly.
But, you know, it works for some genres, but it's usually not the genres that I spend a lot of time listening to.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I just ask, myself, I play an 8-string. So,
which I find respectable. I wouldn't.
Thank you. I totally get it. A lot of people find it unnecessary, and I think if you don't know what you want to do with it, it is, because it's just too many options there. You're not going to do anything with. A regular guitar already has infinite possibilities, and you don't need 2 lower strings to, kick the bassist out of the band. But you mentioned really music from the 90s. What sort of bands come to mind when you mean that?
Dissection. Okay. What else? Well, that first of all, and then a few spots further. Yeah, what else do I like? Watain, which I suppose really got going in the 2000s, but Marduk and At the Gates and...
At the Gates, yeah.
Later, The Devil's Blood and In Solitude and things like that.
Cool.
Primordial.
Cool.
Do you guys want to play a song?
Fields of the Nephilim.
Yeah, well...
Fields of the Nephilim. Nice.
Absolutely.
Nice.
I'll take a quick listen.
That's an unexpected one. But
well, which one should we listen to? We got this...
Let's hear something from the upcoming show.
Let's do Heavy Sentence then.
All right.
Wait, sorry, which one was it? Oh, my bad. The band is called Heavy Sentence. Okay.
Heavy Sentence from the UK.
Yeah.
Or a traditional style of heavy metal.
So this song is called Warriors of Madness. Ooh. Yeah, this feels traditional. I like it, yeah. Reminds me of something like Judas Priest or something.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, we'll take a quick break. This is Happy Hour FM.
See you in a little bit.
See you in a bit. we are back.
Awesome track. Very, very reminiscent of Paul Di'Anno, Iron Maiden.
Yeah. What can you tell us about that band?
They're called Heavy Sentence.
Yeah.
And they're from the UK.
That's cool. Which part of the UK? Do you know?
Manchester.
Manchester. Nice. Yeah.
Anything else?
Anything else with me?
They play heavy metal.
Nice,
I haven't talked a lot to them. I just booked them for a gig.
Very nice. Yeah. How much goes into booking a band for a gig? Do you gotta? I'm guessing you don't have to deep dive research them.
A few emails and some negotiations. And,
How do you know if a band will be good for a gig? Well, like, is there a baseline trust? Like, okay, if they're contacting me, they're gonna be like.
I do listen to everything that I do book, and I'll hopefully find live videos of things that I haven't seen before. Sometimes you don't, because something's really new, something that we haven't announced yet. For example, there's a band, they're like, I think 18, 19 years old, and just started that band, and I thought, yeah, but it's really cool, isn't it? So we just sort of went, fuck it, let's do it.
Cool. Yeah. Nice. Actually, I got a question written in here from a friend. If you don't mind if I just ask.
Yeah. Is it Ben's?
It is Ben's.
Nice.
Ben's is
Ben's.
He's my drummer friend. Very, very good player.
He's insane.
Very technical and fun. He's also the 30-year-old I mentioned earlier. It's very important for everybody. It's within our lore. It's super important.
Okay.
He's come up on the show before. Anyway. He's wondering, how do you find bands to play at a venue? Do you do your own research, or is it the bands that reach out to you?
Yeah.
And then how do you you mentioned emailing and stuff.
Very good, very important question.
There's some booking agencies like Killtown, for example, that we've sort of built up a collaboration with, if you will, because they do a lot of death metal tours, and it's always sort of that new sort of underground stuff. Like we did Galvanizer and Morbific from them, and Ossuary and Phobophilic, and we've got Fossilization and Father Befouled coming up, amongst some other things that we haven't announced yet. So yeah, there's that, and usually when we've got something from him, it's always good, and there's always a load of people, so why not do more of it?
Yeah.
There's also some stuff that I myself thought, I listened to that new record last year and it's brilliant. So where are they from? Sort of far away, innit? But if you do like a 4-day weekend, you could come here for a gig, and it wouldn't, cost thousands of euros.
Sure, yeah.
So,
so that makes a band feasible then to book.
Yeah, well, you can't really drive from Paris to here and back for the what we can offer them, really.
Yeah,
so,
sure. Yeah, how long is the process overall from like initial contact of finding a band to having them play a gig? Is it totally random, or is there kind of an average sort of time it takes?
Hopefully more than 2 months, because then you can sort of properly promote it as well.
Sure.
It depends, really. We've had gigs planned. Frentagamba, for example, that was booked 5 weeks in advance, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe, because they were still looking for a tour date, and they had an empty spot on a Friday somehow.
That's a good spot.
I thought, all right, we'll do it. Sorry about that.
No worries.
And but we've also had, I think, Dope Lord, for example, or Tjuster, was announced half a year in advance of the show. And
that's a while. Yeah. Nice.
Those two were really well attended as well, so we might do that more often. But then I do sort of start fearing, what if magically, Obituary plays in Vera or something,
and then you miss out.
Imagine
everyone goes there.
Is there a big difference between booking a local band or a non-local band like Frantic Amber, which is Swedish, I think?
Yes, because local bands don't need a place to sleep.
Okay. Anything else sort of that stacks up with the organization and trying to contact them in general?
No, not really. Okay. Well, language.
Sure. Yeah. Do you remember any difficulties with any band? Not to name them, but
Nah, not really.
Sure. Great.
Everyone usually speaks English when they tour
true.
Europe.
Yeah.
It's,
There's just common ground there.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Do you try to have a sort of a regular frequency of shows? Like try to have a show every month or two, or is it all depends on like when bands are touring and stuff?
Yeah, we do try to sort of keep it. How do you call it? Yeah, keep a frequency in there. So at least a show a month would be nice. And you know, if I skip August, then okay.
Yeah. Happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's, you know, it's summer and everyone's on holiday and it's 35 degrees outside and you don't want to be in a sweaty fucking pub.
That's awful. Yeah.
And yeah, but for the rest, yeah, we try to keep it frequent enough, but not too frequent, which for this month has gone totally wrong.
Oh.
Well, not totally wrong, but we've got 3 shows in April, which was like, well, we could have spread that out more, but we couldn't because everyone was on tour at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, they were too interesting not to do.
You got to do them. Okay.
Like, all right,
Yeah, you take what you get, I guess.
we'll have it.
Yeah. They are to clarify to listeners. There are 3 shows in different cities.
3 shows in 3 different cities.
Right.
That is correct.
Yeah. So we've talked about the one in Groningen, the one with the Heavy Sentence.
Yes.
That's the band we heard 5 minutes ago.
The Manchester.
Yeah.
band.
What are the other shows?
It's Venator and Toxical and Billstar on the Sunday, and then on Thursday we've got Sonia with a local death metal band called Death Moth, which is a weird combination, but there wasn't
Love
really
that name.
any recent sort of heavy metal bands around. So
Sonia is more like heavy metal.
yeah, you could almost get that's more of a heavy metal band.
And that one's in Drachten?
Leeuwarden.
Leeuwarden.
Yeah,
okay.
and Venator is in Drachten.
Venator is in Drachten. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, bit more of a broad question.
Go for it.
What do you think is important for a healthy underground scene?
People coming to shows, first of all. That's a good question, actually. What is healthy for a underground scene? Well, just supporting your local scene, I think, because I've had a chat with about that with a friend of mine before. There's, some people who are like, yeah, come to see my band, and then you never see them at someone else's gig, and they're like, yeah, but this is not really how the deal is, mate.
It's a relationship, right? Like give and take. Yeah.
So
Go to each other's shows.
Keep going to the gigs,
Support each other.
It'll work out, hopefully.
Yeah. Is merch still
I was
super?
gonna ask.
Super important
definitely.
for the band, like the artists themselves, to earn money from this stuff.
If they're gonna earn money, they're gonna do it from that.
It's merch. Yeah. Why is that?
Well, because let's be fair, Heavy Sentence, for example, it's not a very big name, right?
Sure.
You sort of you get them playing at the Walrus, maybe have hopefully 70 people or something, and times ticket price. All right, that'll cover the fuel. But it's also got to cover a sound guy who travel from home to Groningen and back.
Yeah.
And dinner and things like that, and a place to sleep, and
That stacks up. Yeah.
so. But it's all right, I think.
Yeah. And what was I going to ask? Oh, what's your favorite type of merch from a band to get just for yourself?
Probably a t-shirt or a long sleeve,
T-shirts are nice.
because it serves a purpose as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember from Frantic Amber, I got a T-shirt as well. It was a really cool design.
Yeah.
It's like this purple with
I don't remember it.
There's some like crow on it with like bones out of vague metal like icon stuff. It looked really nice. And then I think I also got some picks, which is good. I mean, good for like metal shows. I feel like there's a lot of like music nerds that go to metal stuff. I think, at least I am. So I'm projecting. And then I think it's a good idea to sell guitar picks and stuff, drumsticks as well.
Would you sell guitar picks? Things that cost you 60 cents to buy.
That's the thing. I feel like if you like a band, you might even buy a pack for like $5-10 just if it's like got their name on it. It's stupid, right?
Do you have an opinion on the CD as a merch item?
I actually buy them quite often because despite not having a record player, I do drive places and the car's got a CD player.
Okay.
So
there we go. Yeah. Nice.
So I use those quite often.
Yeah, but I've had conversations like with people in bands. I'm like, okay, why do you guys print CDs? And they're like, well, we assume that people are not going to listen to them, but we assume that they buy them for the collectible value of them.
There's something nice about it. Yeah,
they sell all right as well. So
that's the thing. Like, it seems like since bands are making them, they sell. So it's interesting.
For me, vinyl works better than CD, just aesthetically.
Yeah, but that's
probably want to have
more
both.
expensive.
Yeah, you might just buy both. That's true. Yeah, vinyl is more expensive. But I just like it's this whole larger thing. There's usually like this larger book thing.
Pardon?
No worries. And then sometimes there's some nice details that are like hidden art that you usually don't find in like a Spotify version of the album, right? You don't see it on some website or something. Yeah,
pretty nerdy, especially nowadays.
Yeah, and also I love vinyls that have just like a color print or something, or splash print or something. Those are lovely. It's really cool.
Some bands charge extra for that as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And then you end up buying like I haven't done this myself, but I can imagine you buy like 3 versions of the same album just because there's like different editions.
I would never.
You would never?
No.
I know the band. Do you know Don Broco? Ever heard of them?
No.
They're like a rock band from the UK. I'm a big fan of them. Pretty cool, and they're very good live and stuff. For their last album, they did a merch run of. They sold so many variations of the same one album, just in so many formats. Different I think you could buy it for each member of the band signed individually. And also, they sold the whole thing on cassettes as well. They were kind of going for this aesthetic, right? It's just I feel like it's a smart move because collectors want to buy the whole thing. You're gonna buy every cassette, every vinyl, every CD, and you've bought like 16 objects. Then it's a good deal. Yeah. Well,
on like coming. Blah, blah. The topic of merch.
Yeah.
And sort of connecting it back to scene stuff. Metal bands have always had the sickest artwork on albums and on merchandise.
Yeah,
mostly.
Yeah. There's some that aren't that great, but
there's some that are literally sick.
Yeah. But are visual artists also an important part of the scene?
Oh.
Is it more of a thing in the underground? Is it kind of a thing where an artist is just an artist and like you can hire them for whatever, or is there a deeper connection there to the music?
Well, again, I don't really sort of get albums myself because I'm not in a band. But I do think so. There's a lot of album artists that sort of specifically make album art for a lot of different bands as well. Like I forget his name, but the bloke who did the Black Dahlia Murder covers and things like that did a lot of different bands as well. There's we've got a design for our Black Horizons t-shirts as well, and that was a bloke that I know from he doesn't live too far away from me, and so he just made the design and we printed the t-shirt, and now we've got t-shirts.
Awesome.
Nice.
Black Horizons t-shirts.
Those are cool. Yeah, I got to get some. Yeah. How much merch do you have for the
just t-shirt
brand? Just t-shirts. Yeah, nice. How many? Just one design?
Yeah.
Cool.
Does that do artwork for bands as well, or?
Yes, he actually did the Chuster album covers, and I believe something for Onhou as well, but I'm not entirely sure. His name is Sjoerd Rekker. He did some nice stuff.
Nice. Where did the name Black Horizons come from?
Confiscated it from a song by my
Dissection,
favourite band.
Nice. Which band is that?
Dissection.
Okay.
On the album The Summer Lane, the opening track is Black Horizons. And
Good choice.
thought, you know what?
It's allowed.
Bands do it for their band names. You know? I mean, I can get away with this.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's not as if the name is the most important thing of what you're doing as well, right?
No. It's a good name too. I like it.
You guys want to play another song?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What should we play this time?
Let's go Aggressive Perfecto, why not?
Well, what can you tell about this song?
They're also from Manchester.
Oh my goodness.
And I think one of them is also in Heavy Sentence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Working double shifts. Good for him.
Yeah.
Well, this is Onward to the Cemetery, another heavy song by Aggressive Perfector. Happy Hour FM. We'll be back in a little bit.
Playing on Friday.
Oh, yeah. Cool. All right. See ya. Okay, welcome back to Happy Hour FM. We're
Great
back here
track.
with Chris and Erik from Black Horizons.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
How you doing? Last quarter of the show,
Is it?
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But quickly, didn't it?
It goes by quick, doesn't it?
We're talking about underground and bands and metal. And
Yeah.
upcoming shows.
It's been a very metal-heavy show, and I understand some people not into metal, and
Maybe
I hope
heavy.
Medi-Hevel show,
Heavy.
and I hope you, if you're still listening, I hope you stuck around because we still have some fun questions left for Erik,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
hope he has some fun answers.
Just
I would apologise for all that as well, but I'm not sorry.
No, it's fun. Metal's a big part of life, I guess.
Some people's lives.
Some people's lives.
yeah, just to mention it for people tuning in right now or recently. There's a show on Friday, 12th of April,
Yeah.
at the Walrus, featuring 3 bands: Heavy Sentence, Aggressive Perfector from the UK, Blade Crusher, local Dutch thrash metal, and then 2 more shows. One in Leeuwarden, featuring Sonja, and
And Leeuwarden and Drachten featuring Venator and Toxico and Builtstar.
there you go.
Very nice.
Quite a full program.
Yeah.
So, Erik, during the last music break, I thought of 2 questions. First one is, apart from following Black Horizons on like social media and stuff, how can people find out about upcoming shows? How can like kids or whoever who is into this
Or
kind of
old
music,
people.
or yeah,
Old people, yeah.
Or whoever. In between.
whoever, how can they find out about upcoming?
We do try to sort of put up posters around town and as much as, is possible. Follow the socials, as you said.
Yeah.
Hop by, come to the Walrus on a Friday or Saturday evening and just hope it's your lucky night, which, it's probably not your best gamble. If you have Facebook, we have a Facebook page called Black Horizons Underground Productions. And if you have Instagram, we have an Instagram as well, which is at blackhorizons.metalshows.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else doing that sort of thing? Are there any other pages by other people, like other people who book metal shows?
Around here, you mean? Or,
Yeah.
Well, I know it's
North
not
Netherlands.
really metal, but Rat Race is doing a lot of cool punk
perfect.
gigs. Went to one of those recently. It was quite fun. Fucking packed as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people. That's always fun. The odd thing in Vera or Simplon that still comes through. The Orcs Bar has some metal shows every now and again, but I'm not entirely sure who puts those on.
Nice.
Yeah. So follow Black Horizons, follow Rat Race, keep an eye out at Vera and Orcs.
Yeah. Support
gist of it.
your local starving metal artist. Just
Yeah.
give them a listen.
I also want to mention the dude who did sound at the last show at the Walrus.
Yeah.
He turned me on to this app. It's called Jammer, like JAMR.
Oh yeah, we
And-
actually have got some shows on there as well.
Ah.
Yeah, it's an app specifically for the Groningen concert scene.
Okay.
It shows you everything that's coming up in Groningen.
Oh, that's useful.
Or mostly everything. I actually haven't seen any of the Rat Race concerts on there.
They got
So you
You've
should
got to
do-
put them on there yourself
Yeah.
as
yeah.
well. Because
Okay.
I downloaded the app and I put some shows on there and I'm quite forgotten which ones those were.
Well, the one on Friday is there for sure.
Yes,
the Heavy
that's
Sentence
correct.
one. Yeah. So that's awesome. So people should check out Jammer.
Yeah, check out Jammer.
During the break, we talked about how a lot of the shows that you're booking now are comprised of bands that a lot of this stuff you discovered a while ago. You said during COVID you were listening to upwards of 200 albums a year.
Yeah, I wasn't I? Because, as a lot of people might be able to relate to, I didn't really have a lot of stuff to do. So might as well just start listening to more music then.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're done with that, well, let's just listen to more music then.
Yeah.
So I did actually have some years where I listened to like 200 albums, new releases as well.
That's
and
awesome.
I've gotten back down to like 150 because I've actually gotten more busy with life.
Yeah. There was a while where I was doing like an album a day, a month and a half or so. It didn't last up. You miss one day and you're like, damn, I messed up.
I just did.
Yeah.
It's Friday release day. I'll just listen to 5 now, and if I don't get to 1, then I'll listen to it tomorrow.
That works. Yeah. No,
Nice.
that's better.
And you still try to actively search for new music, I guess.
Yes, because that way I sort of know what to put on as well.
Yeah. You get a sense of what's relevant also, I suppose, or not so much.
I suppose I'll pretend I do.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's whatever you think sounds cool, I guess.
Well, I don't like having to do this, but sometimes I do sort of have to look, right, all right, you want to play a gig here, but you've got 3 monthly listeners and you're from France. It's...
Yeah, it has to be somehow feasible.
It's... There has to be like at least 4 people around here that know your name, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, what's like the minimum for a band starting out to get a show with not exactly with you, but with someone like you? What does it take?
Well, I suppose it depends. If a band has 3 monthly listeners and they're sort of just started and they're from town, and I can fit them in with a gig that doesn't have a support act yet, then I will just ask for a demo or something,
all right.
Or maybe like a video recording as well.
Yeah.
But with international stuff, that does sort of have to carry the ticket sale as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you can't really put on a show with with international bands that has 7 people attending.
Yeah. That's not worth it, I guess. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that they should send a video. I guess it's very important if they can perform.
Well, yeah, I think that sometimes that works. A lot of the times, if it's something local, I'll have seen it somewhere before.
Sure.
Sometimes, something new comes up and I haven't seen it before.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Do you get a lot of those on your email?
A few too many, but sometimes they're quite valuable.
Nice. That's good to hear that there's a lot of like demos coming in from new bands.
Well, I don't, maybe not demos per se, but emails that go like, "Hey, I want to play a show," and a lot of the time I think, "Oh, that's cool," and sometimes I think, maybe not.
Yeah, fair enough.
How do you search for new music? Do you just go look randomly through Spotify, or you have more?
There's a few record labels that I generally there's a consistency of quality, if you will, like Transcending Obscurity and Redefining Darkness and Dying Victims Productions and Cruz del Sur and a few more of those.
Nice.
And
I'm gonna take note of those for sure.
Yeah.
And there's some shows on YouTube that do like monthly metal release calendars, and I've got an app on my phone as well that's sort of this coming up, and I'll never look at it, so I might as well delete it to save space. But I've got it still.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I do try and keep up with what's coming out.
Do you also go into like, okay, it's these 4 guys playing in this band, but I noticed that the guitarist here also has this other project that's kind of a different thing. Do you look for music that way, sort of try to see through the musicians and bands, or mostly through what comes out on a given label?
That might be an all right piece of advice, actually. No, it's sometimes, I suppose, but there's just so many bands, mate.
Right.
For sure. Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, I've got a question here from Benz, the drummer friend, again, 30-year-old drummer friend. He's wondering if there's any bands that you've
30, is he?
Yeah, did I
He's
mention that?
184 centimeters tall, actually.
Yeah. That's
Very interesting bit of knowledge, which I might forget.
If other
Most
people
likely will. Sorry.
There's a quiz at the end of the show. We'll test you on that. Anyway,
excited.
Yeah, he's wondering if there's any band that has become bigger since you've booked them, like that notably bigger, you know.
And he put after that in parentheses, I'm not asking for myself.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's totally not interested in his own budding career.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question. How bigger is bigger?
Yeah, right. That's.
I suppose. Let me think. I don't know, really. I don't think so. I do know that Frantic Amber, for example, we had them and they played for like 40 people or something. That was actually probably the least well-attended gig we did at the Walrus.
Okay.
Which was still all right, but then they went to some festival in Colombia, I think, and it was, the whole lineup wasn't even that. There was no Iron Maiden or Judas Priest or Gojira even. Watain was playing, which, all right, brilliant, and some other names, and a lot of things that I didn't know, and there was like 40,000 people on the field.
Whoa, okay.
But I do think that if you were to do them here again now, it would be the same thing.
Maybe.
Or maybe a few more, because now we've got, more people that attend shows regularly and sort of keep up with that stuff.
But it doesn't have to do with the band specifically that they would attend.
I don't think so, no.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
We did get Dope Lord, which was already quite
it's a big band
for a pub like that, which we did at the Walrus, which was brilliant.
Nice.
Which was good, yeah. I'd like to do more things like that every now and again. Like every year have
one larger
artist.
One. Yeah.
Wow, is that playing there? Yeah,
okay.
Isn't it?
It has some power to it, right? Where people are just like, oh, well, yeah.
Because their other Netherlands tour date was in Doornroosje as well, and they have a nightliner turning platform, which you can drive the tour bus in there, and it'll just turn the thing around. Because the street behind is a bit difficult with manoeuvring the nightliner.
That's in Nijmegen, right?
It's in Nijmegen.
Yeah.
That's correct. And that thing is about as big as the venue in Groningen, so it was cool. Yeah,
I saw Animals as Leaders there, which is probably my favorite band, and I remember.
Sorry to hear that. No, having a laugh.
Yeah, I'm a bit the brain don't work so good sometimes. They did say that it was probably one of the. I mean, maybe they say it at every venue, but they were saying like this is probably one of the best venues we've ever been at the Doornroosje. Apparently the amenities are just that nice and stuff. And I feel like the tour bus spinny machine sounds like it fits right in with
it's interesting.
High standard.
It's I've never been backstage at Doornroosje, so I wouldn't.
I've been either.
I wouldn't know.
Nice.
Well, we've got only a few minutes left till the end of our show.
Oh boy.
And we can close off with another song.
Sure.
And before that, I guess we can just say thank you to Erik for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
It was really really fun conversation for me.
Yeah.
And I hope for everyone listening as well.
Yeah. Even if you weren't, if you're not into metal, I hope you had a fun time learning something.
Yeah, and in my opinion, you're doing God's work, man. And to Ben's question, like, do bands get bigger, like, from this kind of stuff? To me, it's kind of similar to, like, when people buy records, like physical media, to listen to music, there's a bit more of a sentimental connection to that music. I find that's also true for seeing a band play at your local pub. Like, they might be nobody in a global sense, but because you saw them on that evening, you're gonna listen to them again.
Yeah.
Like, that's me with And
Yeah, so
ironically, I forgot their name, but Grist, like
Grist,
Grist,
yeah. I don't think
I love those guys.
they should put an album out. That show was fucking great.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Well,
So let's play one last song.
should we play Nylon Nights by
Let's
Sonia?
play Nylon Nights.
Yeah.
They're playing next week, Thursday, 18th of April in Muckus in Leeuwarden. So if you want to come around, be welcome.
Fantastic. This has been Happy Hour FM. We've been speaking with Erik from Black Horizons. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. See you next week.
See you later.
Bye-bye.